Good evening. We're going to try something different here today. I know we don't drink a lot of Burgundy. I'm trying to fix that, but this is a Burgundy. I'm going out to dinner. I'm taking this with me, so I figured we'd taste it together, cheating a little bit before we go. It's a Pommard from 2007 by Comte Armand, and it's their own vineyard, Clos les Epeneaux. It's spelled differently from what you might have seen in other Pommards. And it's a monopole. It means it's their own, the whole vineyard, because there's a lot of, there's some vineyards and some crus in Burgundy that are shared, like Epeneaux, for instance, like Frémier, like Rugien, like some of the others that you see on other makers' labels. Anyway, this is a 2007. 2007 was a kind of a tough year for them. It was very hot, but then the summer cooled off and got a little bit more rainy, which has kind of helped even everything out and slow everything down, so they were able to harvest in September. And as a result, I think the wines have more balance, and are a little bit lighter than you would expect from something like Pommard. Pommard is in the Côte d'Or. It's just south of Beaune, and it's on the northern side of the road, and it's just known for pretty heavy wines. It's one of the biggest producer region of Burgundy after Beaune, and it's got a couple of Premier Cru, which we discussed, the Rugien and Epeneaux, and it seems it's a popular wine. It's good. It's not necessarily what you get with the Grand Cru, but it's not it's Premier Cru, so it's pretty good wine to begin with. And then the soil is sort of dark brown clay on some pretty hard limestone and not very deep. So it's, again, you've got that sort of intensity, but not a lot of depth to the soil. These guys, this property exists since the 1800s, like early 19th century. Right in the center of Pommard, the village, they have their vineyard, which was 5 hectares, and they've been making wine since then. They've, the property that they have bought other vineyards, but their Clos des Epeneaux is what it is, and still there. They destem their wine. They don't crush it, so it's whole grapes, but not stems. And it's the maceration, they have it take 4 weeks exactly, and that's because they believe in the lunar cycle. So it's 28 days, and they really use native yeasts, unfined, unfiltered. They use very little very little new oak, only for the oldest of the vines. They have some vines that go to the 1930s. They vinify those separately in newer oak. And at the end of the day, after 18, 20 months, they assemble the wine, they bottle it, and this is what you get. Again, this is a fine property. That's what they make. They're known for their Pommard, and then we're going to taste it together. When I first opened it just an hour ago, it was that fruit jumped right at me and kind of followed me around the room, which is really interesting, because often when you first open an old bottle of wine, you're a little disappointed with the mustiness and the funkiness, but this was not the case. It's very subtle. It's still very subtle, almost as if it's it's going to need to open up some more, and I understand that. So hopefully over dinner we'll have a different evolution, but you can feel the fruit right underneath. There's a little bit of smokiness that comes and goes, and then otherwise the whole effect is pretty subdued. Let's just see if we stir it a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely coming up. It's that sort of a little bit of that cherry, so not very sweet, but kind of red. The color, if you can see, I don't know if you can see, it's really on the lighter side, which is to be expected. It's an aging wine. It's starting to turn into, a little bit of the brown, not very much. The edges are very, very light. This is not a very high alcohol wine, I don't think. I can't see that here, but these wines are 13%. So This is going to be really good with dinner because you can feel the acidity. The tannins are not very strong. The fruit is there. The acidity, the finish stays. It's just really delightful. Pommards are really much more heavy-handed. This is just because of the year. I think it's a balanced Pommard that's really nice to drink right now, and it's just really very nice. Let's try again. Very subtle, very nice. I think you just have to enjoy it and think about it. It doesn't hit you over the head, but it's really well made. Cheers. See you soon.